This is another story of how they were caught. In February of 2005, a Cleveland woman, Rosemarie Essa, was driving her car through a residential street when she started having trouble breathing. She slumped over her wheel and she was semi-conscious when she sideswiped a vehicle. She died a short time later after that accident, and it left medical personnel and police baffled by what they saw. See, police and medical personnel were baffled by her death because she had no serious medical issues or injuries. She had no drugs or alcohol in her system. The accident when she hit the vehicle was not related to her death. An autopsy was conducted and the toxicology test showed nothing in her system. They even tested her a second time and were unable to find any type of drug that may have caused this. But a clue was left behind because Rosie made a phone call to a friend right before she started feeling ill. She told her friend that she had just taken her coral calcium pills, and that's when she started feeling like crap. Police then learned that her husband, Dr. Yazeed, was the one that was giving her the supplements. They also learned that he was having extramarital affairs and that their marriage was pretty rocky. Amazingly, Dr. Yazeed still had the pills at his house and he gave them to law enforcement. Law enforcement would later test the pills, look at the molecular structure. They conducted a Prussian blue test and determined that it was cyanide that was in those capsules. But Dr. Yazeed was one step ahead of law enforcement as he fled the country to Beirut, Lebanon, where there was no extradition treaty with the U.S. All the FBI and local informants could do was watch him and surveil him and see if he would make a mistake. Dr. Yazeed was bragging to locals that he killed his wife. He even created an email called fugitive@hotmail.com. After months of surveillance, the FBI learned that Dr. Yazeed was going to travel to Cyprus, where they could arrest him and bring him back to the U.S. Dr. Yazeed was using a fake passport and even changed his appearance, but police were able to intercept him at the airport and take his fingerprints and realize that he was, in fact, Dr. Yazeed. In court, we learned that Dr. Yazeed wanted out of his marriage, but wanted to keep his kids and his money. So he staged this accident by giving her the cyanide-laced calcium pills and was banking on the fact that she would go into traffic and get into an accident and die from the accident, and no one would suspect that the cyanide. Dr. Yazeed's own brother testified that Dr. Yazeed had told him he killed his wife, and that was how he was caught.